School districts are bracing for what could be a mad scramble to get enough teachers in classrooms this fall. That's because many districts are ending this school year with unfilled teaching positions. Low pay, increased class size, and competition from surrounding states are factors making it difficult for schools to hire and retain qualified educators.
We need to back up and reread it again.
When it comes to teacher salaries, Oklahoma ranks 49th in the nation. But when you compare Oklahoma to surrounding states, the news is even worse.
We are last in the region right now. And if you continue to be last in the region, I don't think you're going to continue to be able to recruit the best and the brightest, or for sure retain them here in Oklahoma.
Superintendent of Union Public Schools, Dr. Kurt Hartzler, says younger teachers are finding better pay and working conditions in states like Texas.
It's just the fact that they realized that over 10 years in education, they could make as much as $250,000 more living in Arkansas and Texas than they would here in Oklahoma. Over 20 years, it's $500,000, and they're smart enough to do the math and realize that that's a pretty significant earnings compared to staying here in Oklahoma.
According to the National Center for Education Statistics, the average teacher salary in Oklahoma during the 2012-13 school year was just over $44,000. In Texas, the average teacher salary is nearly $49,000. But those figures include all teachers. Beginning teachers in Oklahoma make $31,600 annually. New teacher Meredith Brown says she could have made $47,000 a year starting in the Plano, Texas school district, but she wanted to live in Oklahoma. She has a roommate and can't afford unexpected expenses.
It does come down to, this was my choice, this is what I want to do, this is what I know I'm going to do, but it sure would make things easier if it was adjusted, just so I know I did get in a car wreck. Someone hit my car yesterday in the parking lot of school, and I know I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
Dallas Cohn works a second job to make up for his teacher pay, but says his wife is still the main breadwinner. He says teachers without safety nets are looking elsewhere.
And they look at that starting salary, and a lot of them have to say, oh, I don't even think I'm going to look at that. Or they start, and they realize how much work and how much emotion and how much goes into it, and then they get a couple of paychecks, and then their husband or their wife says, we really can't. We can't do this. Or if they want to do it, they move to Texas.
Dr. Hartzler is worried about filling teacher vacancies for the next school year because Union ended this year with unfilled positions.
This year was a record number for us in that regard, in that we had 13, or we still have 13 unfilled positions within our school system. So that, based on that data alone, that would tell us that we don't have enough qualified teachers in the pool of candidates.
What are we going to title this activity?
Tulsa Public Schools is ending the year with 40 vacant teaching spots. Most teachers don't give their resignation notices until August, so that has Tulsa Public Schools recruiter Bradley Eddy concerned.
What I worry about is a candidate pool large enough to actually not only fill each one of those positions, but fill those positions with highly qualified candidates, because no more is anyone able to just hire anyone because they have a teaching degree. We have standards in place that people have to meet before they can even get to the principals to go to the next step.
Sapulpa Public Schools is a much smaller district than Union or Tulsa. Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources Tom Tricole says not being able to fill one teacher position this year affected the quality of education for some students.
That was our middle school Spanish teacher. We were not able to offer Spanish in our middle school. We did find a person who was able to teach one class period a day. So we have an adjunct teacher teaching one class period a day. Instead of having a full program, we teach 1 hour, one class per day.
He is anticipating 25 vacant positions to start the next school year.
We're hoping that we can find that Spanish position. We have openings that in some hard to find areas. We have some math and some science openings that we know we're going to have for next year that are going to be difficult to find, and we know it's going to be difficult to find some of our special education openings.
Tricole says because of reduced state funding for common education, they have fewer teaching and support personnel positions than 7 years ago.
Invest in Oklahoma kids.
Lawmakers heard the many concerns of educators on March 31st. when an estimated 25,000 teachers from across the state converged on the state capitol demanding more funding for education. According to the Oklahoma Education Coalition, appropriations to public schools are about $200 million less than in 2009, even though there are about 40,000 more students than there were 5 years ago. Oklahoma House Bill 2642 is crafted to direct substantial increases for education in the coming years, but it hinges on several financial triggers such as general revenue growth. The bill has been sent to a House Conference Committee after state representatives rejected Senate amendments to the legislation. If funding for education is not increased, educators say it will only add to the state's growing teacher shortage.
And I think our teachers are saying that you don't respect us, you don't value us. And it's not about money, it's really about respect. And when you respect a person, then you value their worth. And if that means giving them more money so that they can support their own families, so that they can stay a little longer and provide for the students in Oklahoma, then that's what we should do.